Every year, when Father's Day weekend rolls around, you can count on
the Preston Elks Launch Demolition Derby. This Saturday, 7 p.m. at the Preston Rodeo Arena. Buy tickets on the Preston Elks Derby Facebook or pay cash only at the gate. Just $10 for adults, $5 if you're over 60 or under 12. All proceeds benefit local families in Utah and Idaho. The Preston Elks Launch Demolition Derby, Saturday at 7 at the Preston Rodeo Arena.
Coming up on the Monday edition of the Clay Travis and Buck Sexton Show, we'll dive into the latest on the Biden economy, plus take a look at how the polls are showing up for the Democrats going into the midterms just months away. Plus, Clay, what do you got?
The latest on the gun control debate will be playing out early in the week. Plus, we'll be joined by Fox News and Outkick's Tommy Lahren. Should be fantastic. See you guys then.
10 to 1 on News Talk KVNU, 102 FM and 610 AM.
News Talk 610 AM, 102.1 FM, KVNU.
It's time for the Garden Guide with your host, Mark Anderson from Anderson Seed and Garden.
New research suggests that people are more likely to eat vegetables if they have a tempting name.
What would life be without homegrown tomatoes? Only two things that money can't buy, and that's true love and homegrown tomatoes.
From gardening to landscaping.
Today we are going to try and create garden eyebrows. Kind of like the flowers are sprouting directly from your hair. That makes sense.
Phone lines are open at 753-KVNU or 800-369-KVNU.
Kind of like eating vegetables.
It's the Garden Guide, now on KVNU 610 AM and 102 FM.
And we welcome you to the show on a beautiful Saturday morning as we're heading into Father's Day weekend. And weather-wise, it's actually just going to be perfect. It's not going to be as hot as we had Thursday and Friday. Hopefully these temperatures are going to come down just a little bit.
And hopefully the wind will stop blowing,
yeah,
too. It's been so windy.
And then the dust that's been kicked up from that. I was out watering the garden last night, sneezing and sniffling, and the dust just really, really got bad.
Good Friday night activity for you, Will.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome Friday night activity, so... That's all right. Yes, it's going to be a great weekend to be outside, and a lot of things happening at Anderson Seed and Garden. Of course, we've got a lot of things on sale still. Geraniums are 50% off. We do have a new shipment of fruit trees coming, not this week, but next week. So the last week of June, we've got fruit trees coming that is kind of a special surprise. So we've got some peaches, we've got nectarines, we've got apricots, we've got cherries, we've got some plums. I think there's some pluots and some pluaries as well too, and some apples and pears. So a nice big selection of fruit trees. So if you've been looking for fruit trees and haven't been able to find them, we've got some gorgeous trees coming. They'll be in 10-gallon containers. They will be nice and big. I've seen pictures of them. They look nice.
Huge.
Yeah.
They're
really good.
Before, some will say, well, you just can't be planting fruit trees during the summer. But it's one of the best times.
Oh, no, it's a good time. Like from now until November is going to be a great time. So this is something we haven't been able to do for years and years. And fortunately, I was able to secure some extra trees this past year that we were able to send to one of our growers and have them grow them in Oregon for us instead of here, because they just do so much better there. The temperatures are more...
they're similar to here, and yet you also have a lot of moisture.
They're wetter. The temperatures are a little bit more mild. They're coastal, and so the plants just do amazingly well. So they'll be really well rooted and leafed out, and like have a whole bunch of growth on them. And so they'll be much nicer than what we could have done if we got them in March and potted them up and tried to grow them. Yeah, they just the temperatures are just more mild. They're more temperate, and so they'll do a lot better. So, but we do have a special Father's Day edition of the Garden Guide today, and my special guests are my daughters Eve and Emma.
Hello.
So nice to have you on my show, the Father's Day Guide, and it sounds like we've got my son on line 5 as well too. Kendall, you there?
It's Mitchell.
Oh, is it Mitchell? Oh, awesome. I'm so glad you're on the show, Mitchell. That's a great surprise. So the idea today was we would talk about memories and things that we did in our garden, because I think there's a lot of people that love to work out in their garden with their families, and we have done that consistently as well as a family over the years. And some of you have taken longer breaks in between liking gardening. I know when everybody was younger, we would do a lot of stuff out there, but we get into those teen years, and some of you didn't really want to do that very much. So I don't know, Mitchell, what do you remember most from working out in the garden?
Oh, man, I don't think I did a whole lot of gardening, honestly. I think I just kept eating everything.
So that brings up the question, what was your favorite thing to grow and eat?
It's probably the peas.
Peas?
The fresh snap peas.
Oh, yep. Mom was talking about that the other day, where you and Kendall would go out there and you'd eat the peas and
stick them on the line.
Stick them on the fence, because we grow the peas on the fence, and so you'd eat the peas, and then other than throwing them at each other, which I remember you doing consistently as well too, but you'd hang them on the fence line and do that. So way fun. Do you remember the time when we grew the really hot peppers in our neighbor's garden over at Brad's garden, and we had all the sweet peppers, and then Emma went out there and ate one of the hot ones?
Yeah,
Do you remember that?
That was really hot.
So we had all the banana peppers, and then that one Anaheim pepper looked just like a sweet pepper. But now you love the hot peppers.
Yeah, now most of them taste really good.
So
those are probably your first time enjoying the spicy
peppers. That was the first time. Yep. That did not go over really well, as I recall. Anaheims are pretty hot, but when you're 5, I think you were probably 5 or 6 when we did that. But now, what are the hot peppers we're growing right now? We've got.
We have the Thai. We have. Can't quite remember very many. We have a shishito.
A shishito, yeah. We got the shishitos. Those are really mild, so they're like grilling peppers. I'm excited to try those. But don't we have a Caribbean red or a?
Yes, we have those, and then we have a ghost one, which I'm not sure if I'm allowed to eat.
We'll find out. Maybe we'll have to make some jam with it this summer or something.
I know.
So
that sounds yummy.
That could be really fun.
Maybe tame that fire a little bit.
Yeah, tame that fire with a little sugar. So, but you listeners, you are welcome to call in with questions or comments. We'd love to have you join us on the show. We're just talking about fun experiences out in the garden, things that we did as a family to try and make gardening fun and enjoyable. But I'd have to say, as my kids were younger, we had a good time out there. As they turned into teens, they were less interested in working in the garden. But now everyone's starting to realize that it's actually really pretty fun, and there's some great experiences to have out there and some great food to eat. We had fresh kohlrabi the other day. Sorry you missed out, Eve.
It's all good. I'll have to have the next one.
we snarfed it up, no problem. But if you'd like to join us here on the show, 753-5868, 753-KVNU, or 1-800-369-5868. And we're just talking about good memories out in the garden. Today, we also have to kind of, on a sad note, a foundation partner of Anderson Seed and Garden we lost this week. So my mother passed away this week. Kind of unexpected, but we knew it was kind of in the cards. Yeah, but I lost my mom this week, and so if you've got memories of spending time with mom at the store or in other locations, and you'd like to call in and share some of those thoughts with us, that would be amazing too. That would make a great Father's Day weekend for me. And Mom was there at the store for 50 years, just like Dad, and was just an integral part of what happened, the growth of the store and what happened after my wife and I took over. And so, Mom was essential partner there. She wasn't there all the time like Dad was, but during the busy spring seasons, she was always there, and she was a big part of Christmas and decorating as well too. And so, it's been over 20 years since Mom's been at the store, but still have a lot of people that come in and ask about her. And unfortunately, it's going to be her 91st birthday next week, and so she almost made it to 91. But we're going to celebrate her a little bit today as well too. I've got some great memories of working out in the garden with my parents as well too, and especially with Mom the last few years, because it started to get hard for Dad to work out in the garden. So I was kind of doing the garden for both Mom and Dad, and my mom would come out and weed with me, and she loved weeding, and we just spend an hour out there and just visit. We just sit there and pull weeds and visit, and it was a lot of fun. Yeah, it was a good time. We've done that before too. You guys don't like to weed as much.
It's usually when we plan our next vacation, I feel like.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, maybe we'll have to plan a vacation to go down and visit Mitchell. So, any happening on the baby front there, Mitchell?
No, absolutely not.
Nothing. All right, we've been waiting 3 days for that baby to show up.
Yep, nothing's happening.
All
Nothing's moving.
Well, I'm sure we'll get some well wishers for you today. If you have some ideas about how to birth moving along a little bit faster. What were you going to say, Will?
Long walks.
We've done long walks.
We've tried. Been doing that.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Long walks.
And he's down in Arizona, so it's like spicy food, long walks, bouncy car rides.
I mean, it's already spicy out here. I mean, it's 7 o'clock in the morning. It's already 90 degrees out, so it's spicy. So.
All right, we feel your pain, Mitchell. We feel your pain. So, but if you'd like to join our conversation, I've got my kids here, Eve, Emma, and Mitchell, and we're talking about some good memories in the garden, and we can also talk about my mother, Janelle, and the memories we had of her out in the garden as well, too. So, but Dallin, we got somebody on the line.
Yeah, Reed joining us on the line. Reed, welcome to the Garden Show this morning.
Thank you. Can you hear me, Mark?
Yep, we got you, Reed.
Okay. First of all, for Kendall, an airplane ride with a few flips helped my wife on her first delivery.
Awesome. Bumpy airplane ride. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Scare that kid
I have a question about lawn bill bugs and grubs. How do you tell when to treat, and what product do you recommend for treating bill bugs and lawn grubs?
Great question, and very appropriate for right now too, Reed. We have not seen any insect damage yet this year, but we're seeing the adults out. So we've seen adult June beetles, and it's probably a little, I'd say about nickel-sized, maybe quarter-sized beetle, and they are kind of a reddish-brown color, and they end up on your porch at night. They like the light, so they'll go after the light on the porch. So you'll end up seeing them on your porch. Sometimes they'll run into the wall. They're not very bright, so they run into the wall. They'll smack into the wall and fall down on the ground, and then they'll be upside down. They'll kick their legs up and down. Those are the adults of the white grubs that get into the lawn. And we're seeing those right now. So they're out laying eggs to get the next cycle going. So actually right now, usually around Memorial Day is when we recommend your first application of an insecticide. But then we recommend a follow-up application about the first part of August, probably Pioneer Day to the first part of August. So you have insecticide that lasts all the way through the fall as well, too, because sod webworms show up later in the season. They'll show up in August and September and do a lot of damage right along the surface. So right now, let's shoot for grubs and bill bugs to prevent them. We're not going after controlling damage, but we're going to stop them before they get started. And I would recommend either Grub Free Zone from High Yield, or a new product came out just a couple years ago. It's called Bug Blaster Plus. It's got the same ingredients as the Grub Free Zone, plus a contact insecticide in there for the adults as they're out laying their eggs. And so that's a great way to prevent those before they get started. So application right now, Reed, and then shoot for between probably right around Pioneer Day, first part of August would be excellent to try and control sod webworms, which are going to be showing up later in the season.
Okay, and does that come in a spray, or is that
they're both granule. They're both granule. Yep.
Granule, okay.
And then I do have a liquid as well too. So the Grub Free Zone comes in a granule, but the systemic insect spray is the exact same thing in a liquid form, and the liquid would cover somewhere between 5,000 and 10,000 square feet. On the Grub Free Zone, I've got like a 5,000 and about a 10,000 square foot bag as well too. So you've got some options there, Reed. Yeah.
Very good. Thank you, Mark.
You're so welcome. Hey, thanks for calling in, and appreciate the childbirth recommendations as well too. So.
Good luck with that.
All right, sounds good.
Thank you.
And for those of you that aren't aware, Mitchell worked over at Logan Extermination for many, many years. So I know you remember absolutely everything over there, Mitchell. So you're welcome to chime in.
Oh yeah, I'm sure I can pull a couple of treatments out if I can dig into the old storage bank.
Yeah,
but,
exactly. Exactly. So, and Emma currently works at Anderson's, and she is becoming a plant expert very quickly. But I remember, Eve, when you were younger, and we were like selling root beer at the back gate.
I believe it was lemonade.
No, we did root beer too. Yeah, we did root beer and treats for a lot of years. That was fun.
I'd say my number one thing I remember, it was the first time you guys let me do that. I had just a tip jar out front, and I didn't make anyone like put stuff in there. But a customer didn't put something in there, and so I pointed at it and I told him to put change in there. I was like, okay, granted I was like 6 or 7, so I didn't understand that there was just a tip jar. But I was like, oh, you know that lemonade's got to be worth that 25 cents.
Too funny. Yes, but probably the first thing you learned, Eve, was like how to diagnose iron deficiency. And you still know that.
Yellow and crispy leaves.
Dark green veins. Yeah, you pick that up really fast. And now you work for somebody else. So that's okay. I think Mom and I have always thought it's been really good for you to work for someone else. And so all of our kids have always had an opportunity to go work, at the store. You've always had an opportunity to work at the store, but I think it's really good for you to go work for someone else and see what it's like to work elsewhere. That's when Mitchell became a really great employee, because he worked for us to begin with, and then he went and worked for Five Guys. You're still the best fry maker ever, Mitchell.
Oh,
every time.
I'm sure.
Every time I go out there, it's like, oh man, I wish Mitchell was making the fries. But then when you came back to work at Logan Extermination after that, you were a much better worker for sure.
Oh yeah.
It's been a lot of years. So
it has been.
But a good opportunity for you to learn something else. But it's a great opportunity for you listeners, for your kids to learn how to work out in the garden. So, our kids have always had an opportunity to work at our business, but working out in the garden, we tried not to make it difficult. I mean, was it like hard? We never went out there and worked for like hours at a time that you can remember, can you? Yeah.
No, I think the worst was he made us carry like watering cans.
Yeah, watering cans out to do the stuff, which we probably need to do today.
Yeah, speaking of which, probably need to do that.
Got to get that done.
Emma, do you remember it was like killing yourself out working, pulling weeds or anything?
No, only the heat.
Yeah, kind of hot. But it's like we try to make it fun. It's fun to go out there and plant stuff. I mean, Emma's been helping me like crazy plant stuff this spring, and we've had a great time out there. So.
Usually, to make it fun, you'd let us bring our friends over.
Yeah,
and let neighborhood kids come over help out.
But we'd spend 15 to 30 minutes at a time. And sometimes if we're planting big sections, maybe we'd spend an hour. But it's a lot more fun planting than it is weeding for an hour.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, much better. And then we set the rows really wide so we can run the tillers up and down the rows, so you don't have to worry about doing a lot of weeding. So I end up spending most of the time weeding, but harvesting, that's always fun.
I'd say the longest one for that would be the corn, just getting our multiple rows of corn picked.
Yeah, well, we picked corn last year, and we got like a 6 cubic foot wheelbarrow full of corn. Mm-hmm. So lots of corn. I know. What's your favorite thing to plant, Evie?
I love the sun sugar tomatoes. Those are my favorite.
Yeah, that's a good one. Emma, your favorite item? Mitchell already told us peas.
You better say cucumbers.
I'll kind of eat anything.
Nice.
Because that's what I eat during the summer while everybody has steaks.
When we're barbecuing outside, you're eating all the vegetables. Yeah. So that's the one thing that I think is a standout for me with our kids when you'd go spend time at other people's houses, and we'd go to pick you up, and the parents would go, how do you get your kids to eat like spinach and squash and stuff? Because they'd like grab, my wife or me, and they'd basically say, we had this for dinner, and your kids just like ate all the vegetables, and my kids won't eat them.
It's like touch them.
Yeah, it's like how do you get your kids to like eat squash and eat spinach and eat all these weird things like kohlrabi, that is like one of our favorite things, and I think it's because you got to grow them when you were younger, so if you're familiar with them, you've planted them, you've like watered them, you've fed them, and you got to go out there and harvest them and eat them, you become familiar with them, and then you're not afraid to try different stuff. We're doing what? Eggplant this year, Emma?
Yeah, we have a Japanese long eggplant and a white egg one. I just wanted to see how they taste.
Yeah.
Supposedly the smaller egg white one is very sweet, so I want to see how that tastes.
Yeah, and it has evil spines on it too.
No, that was the Japanese.
Is that the
one.
Japanese one?
Yeah.
Honestly, I've never seen eggplant with big spines on there, but I guess it's pretty common. So, yeah, I learned something this year as well too. So, yeah, phone lines are open if you'd like to join our conversation. We're just talking about having a good time out in the garden, and like I said, if you have got some memories you want to share about my mom working with her at the store, that would be amazing. Phone lines are open: 753-5868, 753-KVNU, or 1-800-369-5868. I did have to thin the peaches this week, though. You saw that bucket that
had the bottom of the basket was just covered in peaches.
Yeah, in little baby peaches. That was our
baby green peaches.
Our donut peach. Did you see them, Emma? I mean, it was like 200 peaches I took off that tree.
No, I did not, but I did the day after.
So this is a tree we planted 3 years ago. So this is its third year. Yeah, this is its third year, and it was absolutely covered with fruit, like completely covered. And when we planted it, it was what, 4 feet tall? It was probably about 4 feet tall.
Yeah,
Emma.
it was.
Yeah,
It was pretty small.
It's like over 8 feet tall now.
Yeah, it's so much taller. I remember that first year it had one peach on it.
One peach on it.
I was making the poor thing tip.
And we got like 5 or 6 peaches last year.
They were all good.
Yeah, and this year it had, honestly, I picked 200 little peaches off of it, and I left one about every 6 to 8 inches. So if you've got good fruit set on your fruits this year, it's a good year to thin some of those out. So I know some of my other peach trees, the ones over at Grandpa's, they didn't produce fruit, but we've got a nectarine over there that's got some on there. I had to thin that one a little bit as well too. The cherries are loaded. The apples are pretty full, and the pears are not too bad either. But the peaches at Grandpa's didn't set any fruit. I think they got frozen. But the ones over at our house, a little bit more protected because they've got all those trees around them. And so they produce like crazy. And our white nectarine has probably at least 12 nectarines on it. So I'm like super excited.
That's going to be good.
I can hardly wait. But that donut peach was really pretty good last year. Also a white peach. Very nice. So.
And I was noticing on our fruit trees, this similar peach tree and the apricot tree,
Yeah.
it got hit with that spring frost we had and just wiped it out. But apple and pear have just exploded.
Yeah, lots.
And it just kind of depended upon when those blossomed out. The apple and the pear trees, they just were about 2 weeks later. And so they're fine, but the peach and the apricot tree that blossomed so early, I mean, it was blossoming before Mother's Day, and it got wiped.
And it seems like the trees bloomed like crazy this year because we had like a nice wet fall, and then we had a nice wet spring as well too. So between the moisture in March and April, the trees just went crazy. So they were just absolutely loaded. And that peach tree that I had to pick all that fruit off, it was just covered with blossoms.
Wow.
Absolutely covered with blossoms. And so that was a lot. That was actually a lot of work to get out there and thin all those little fruits off. Yeah, and get those ready to go. But if you don't thin those fruits to 6 to 8 inches apart, then you're going to have breakage on your limbs. I mean, if I'd left all that fruit on that peach tree, it probably would have just sheared limbs right off because all the weight. And then it's just hard on the tree. It pulls so much strength out of the tree. So if you've got a lot of fruit production, great time to fertilize your trees. So they've got a good source of nutrition as well. And get those trees thinned out. You'll get bigger fruit. They'll ripen up properly. They'll taste a lot better than if you leave a lot of fruit on there. So it looks like we've got another caller. So.
We do. We have West joining us on the line from Hyde Park. West, welcome to the Garden Show.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Hey, I missed the first half of your show because I was out pulling my second crop of Morning Glory.
All right.
And getting ready for the third crop,
exactly.
Which will be next week.
It'd be nice. It would be really nice if it would be really nice if it were edible, but unfortunately.
I thought about that. Feed it to the bunnies or something.
Yeah, they might like it.
Anyway, what I have a big, long, probably a few hundred feet forsythia and burning bush hedge out here. And I noticed especially and I've had to replant some small bushes. So I got some young burning bush, but my forsythia are pretty large and well established over decades. And here's my question. All of a sudden I noticed the leaves were starting to curl on the young and a few of the older established forsythia. I'm fearing that maybe some chemical or something got on them.
That's possible. What does the curling look like? Are the leaves curling down? Are they curling up?
curling up.
Are they twisting? Like, have you seen the leaves twist a little bit?
I don't know about twisting, but they are curling up.
Herbicide damage has a very distinctive look to it. And so you'll see the leaves kind of shrink a little bit, and the veins will get closer together than they normally would be.
That was one thing that my wife, through many years of communicating with you, this was west with the old Northern Propane days.
Oh, yes, yes.
And I'm always out in the truck, but I do listen to you guys and appreciate it Saturday as I'm going eastbound across Wyoming.
Awesome.
Walking up yeah.
So the veins will kind of shrink together. They'll become a little bit more leathery feeling. So the leaves will become a little bit more leathery, but they will usually twist and curl. So you'll see them twist and curl, and it'll deform that way. And the good thing about having some herbicide damage is usually it doesn't kill the plant. It just will kind of deform some of the newest growth if they picked up a little bit of herbicide. And all it takes is
explained what it's doing. It is twisting.
Is it twisting?
A little bit, and it is curling up. But I don't see the veins or anything. We looked at that the other day.
That's okay. Yeah, and it's going to react a little bit differently on every plant, and it depends on the herbicide as well, too. But the good news is most of the time it will just damage that new growth. And when that new growth comes out, it's really susceptible to herbicide damage. If you've sprayed for morning glory or dandelions or whatever, and all it takes is just a little gust of wind and a little bit of mist, and it hits it, and it won't kill the plant. It's just gonna deform those new leaves. We see a lot on.
That was my question.
Yeah, we see a lot on grapes. We see a lot on other plants that have really sensitive leaves. But it can do anything. Lilacs or burning bush or forsythia for sure. What I was kind of concerned with on the forsythia is if you had aphids, because we've seen a lot of aphids the last little bit, and it'll curl the leaves and it will turn them yellow as well too. So.
I don't see any aphid, and I've gotten real close and personal over the last 2 days trimming this thing.
Yeah, if it's a 100-foot row, you spent some time out there.
Actually, more like 200. Anyway, that was my concern, was whether the plants were going to die, or whether they. And I kind of hope that what you'd said in the past that we've talked, that was probably the case.
Yep, they should be pretty good.
Water them and keep them happy. And
water.
Those little burning bush are temperamental little things.
Yep, water and fertilize. Get some new growth coming. You can always shear some of that growth off that looks kind of funky, and shear that off, and then just watch the new growth. If your new growth comes out and it looks fine, then you're in great shape. But it's usually the growth out on the tips. So it's like the newest, most recent growth that is most susceptible to the herbicide. You'll just see those curl and twist, and if some of the older growth looks fine, it probably won't bother that at all. So
we'll keep monitoring. Thanks for your help, Mark.
You're so welcome.
Day.
All right, have a great one, Wes.
Yep. Okay, you bet.
Yep.
Bye.
All right, we're at the bottom of the hour.
The bottom of the hour,
yeah,
absolutely. And we've still got phone lines open, so you can call in with your questions, your comments. And coming up after the break, we need to talk about the Father's Day specials that are going on sale. And we need to talk about the classes that you're doing during the Center Street Market.
For sure, yes, for sure. Yeah,
we'll talk about those as well. Taking your calls for the Garden Guide, 753-5868 or 1-800-369-5868. If you have a question or comment for Mark, or if you have some memories you'd like to share, we're looking for those this morning on this special Father's Day edition of the Garden Guide here on KVNU.
Your KVNU News Update. I'm Will Feelright. It's brought to you by Logan Dental Associates. Friday, the Utah Attorney General's Secure Task Force, assisted by the Sandy and Taylorsville Police Departments, arrested and charged 19-year-old Braden Riley with 7 felonies related to unlawful sexual contact with underage girls. A probable cause statement cites the 2 underage victims who said that Riley solicited for sex in exchange for marijuana and nicotine vape cartridges. Now, the information stated that Riley used social media to solicit the young girls, often posing as a 15-year-old and sending them explicit pictures. Riley was arrested Thursday at his Sandy apartment because of substantial danger to the community and because he is believed to have been involved in a recent attempted kidnapping of 2 minor children in Sandy. He's being held without bail in the Salt Lake County Jail. And talk about being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Montana's governor turns out was not in Montana or even the United States at all when punishing floods hit Yellowstone National Park. Turns out he was in Italy. But Republican Governor Greg Gianforte's office did not tell his constituents that for days. Now Gianforte is back in Montana and under fire for not hurrying home more quickly and for keeping the public in the dark as to his whereabouts. In Gianforte's defense, his office says that he was briefed regularly about the ongoing flooding issues. Well, that weather forecast calling for slowly decreasing temperatures over the next few days, as we will still see some wind, as temperatures through the weekend expected to stay right around the low 80s during the day, and overnight temperatures are going to stay right around the mid-50s. As we head towards next week, Monday, temperatures only be around the mid-70s. I'm Will Feelwright for KVNU News.
From ABC Sports. Hi, everybody. I'm Todd Ent. For the first time since 1999, a team with a 10-plus game losing streak defeated a team with a 10-plus game winning streak.
Ground ball right side. Glove by Higgins. Takes it to the bag. Cubs win the ball game. The losing streak is history, and so is the Braves' 14-game winning streak.
The call on 670 of The Score. Cubs closer David Robertson got the Braves' Orlando Arcia to ground out to first, securing the 1-0 victory. And a night after getting a walk-off single, Yankees first baseman Anthony Rizzo continues his hot streak.
And there it goes to deep right. This one's long gone into the second deck, and a grand slam for Anthony Rizzo.
The call on WFAN, that grand slam capped off an 8-run fifth inning. The Yankees blew out the Blue Jays 12-3, bringing their winning streak to 8 games. This is ABC Sports.
Calling all golfers. Summer is here. Come experience Birch Creek and our summer golf leagues. Every Monday night is Couples League. Men's League is Monday after 1 and any time of the day, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. Ladies League is Wednesday or Thursday. And junior golf camps run Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Call Birch Creek today for information regarding our Summer Couples League, Men's and Ladies League, and junior golf camps. That's Birch Creek Golf Course in Smithville.
Hey everybody, John Weiss from Heritage Jeep. Everybody knows that here in northern Utah, we've got one of the greatest Jeep playgrounds in the world, right here in our own backyard. And Heritage is Utah's Jeep outfitter. Right now, it's Jeep's Freedom Days at Heritage Jeep. What does that mean for you? 0% financing for 60 months on select new 2022 Jeep models OAC. Come on in and see us in Brigham City, Tremont, and Logan. Heritage Jeep, your hometown dealer with the biggest deals.
Celebrate Father's Day this year with a clock or watch from S.E. Needham Jewelers. Choose from Cache Valley's largest selection of quality timepieces. Give Dad a Swiss-made watch from Tissot, or keep him young with a trendy watch made by Fossil. Or consider the gift of pens, cufflinks, money clips, or other men's accessories.
On this Father's Day, we pay tribute to the generations of fathers at S.E. Needham Jewelers and all fathers on this Father's Day. S.E. Needham Jewelers, middle of the block, at the sign of the clock.
From gardening to landscaping, The Garden Guide with Mark Anderson from Anderson Seed and Garden on News Talk KVNU, 610 AM and 102.1 FM.
And welcome back. 8:38 now, and right now already 74 degrees outside the KVNU studios. It's not going to be quite as warm today, hopefully, and maybe the dust will settle too, as we've been talking about.
Yeah, maybe we'll get a little bit of rain. That would be awesome.
Yesterday, that was a nice little surprise.
Yeah, we got that thunder
rain.
shower in the night. That was kind of surprised me a little bit. I guess it was an early morning. It was more early morning. So, but
6 o'clock.
Father's Day weekend. We've got some special guests on the show today. So not only Mark Anderson with Anderson Seed and Garden, but we've got Eve and Emma and Mitchell Anderson, my kids, and we've been talking about some fun things to do in the garden, memories that we've had. We've been talking about my mom, who passed away this week, and if you would like to share some thoughts or comments about her, or if you've got questions about gardening, you're welcome to join us here on the Garden Guide, 753-5868, 753-KVNU. It's Father's Day weekend. We've got some specials going on at Anderson's. We've got gorgeous roses in stock, and we've got fruit trees coming the week of the 27th. 7th. Great opportunity to pick up some fruit trees. Usually by this time of year, we're totally out of fruit trees. So this is a new shipment that's coming in, and we're excited to get those. We've got some beautiful chimes that just came in as well, too. So we got a great selection of chimes that came in. Good Father's Day present. Some great gloves. Some really gorgeous trees and shrubs showed up this week as well, too. So a lot of really nice new product. We got some more. Didn't we get some more the black tulip magnolias, Emma?
Yes, we did.
Yeah, I was thinking we got
the Felix ones, which are the
Oh,
red
and
ones, and we have the yellow ones.
We got the Sensation, the yellow ones, yeah.
And then we do have a darker red one. I don't remember the name of that
I think
one.
Is that the black tulip? There was another.
No, there was a different one, but the
one.
black tulips are out in the parking lot on the pallet still because there's like no space.
Because we have so much stuff in there. So, but some gorgeous new shrubs came in. We've got some topiary trees. There was some smoke bush that were on single trunks.
We got the tree shaped ones, and then we have the normal ones.
Yeah, and then I think there were some little joker 9 barks that came in as well too. Yeah, so some really cool trees, some really fun things that came in for Father's Day weekend. We've got some great flowers in bloom right now. Some really nice perennials as well too. So there's some great ideas for some good Father's Day gifts if you're still struggling trying to find something. It looks like we've got quite a few phone calls now.
Yeah. In fact, let's go right out to the phone lines and welcome Tammy to the Garden Guide. Tammy, good morning.
Good morning, Mark.
How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. We're hanging in there.
I'm so sorry to hear about your mom.
I know.
That is very sad.
It happened really quick, and we were sorry to see her go, but we're also happy for her as well too. So, thank you.
Well,
I appreciate
I'm sad that I didn't get to meet her, or I have no memories of her. But anyway, I'm sure her and your dad have been awesome through the years. And
they've been so supportive. So supportive of what we've done at Anderson's, and we couldn't have done what we have without them and the foundation that they built for us. So,
yeah, parents are awesome.
They are.
Anyway, I've got a couple of questions. First of all, I was really slow about getting my cedar oil granules down. I got them laid down last week. And I laid them down before the rainstorm, and then I read the instructions, and it said to wait after and do it when it's dry. Do I need to do it more often if I do it?
They will last
before a rainstorm?
They'll last 2 to 3 weeks, whether it rains or not. So you're fine. And the way that they're used mostly is on lawns. And so I mean you've got to water your lawn a couple times a week at least right now with it being really hot. And so you're going to get 2 to 3 weeks of control out of those cedar granules. And it does take a little bit of moisture to get them to activate and to start to work. So I would not worry about it one bit. And I'll probably put mine out this week too. So I haven't done mine yet. So don't worry. You're not late at all.
Good.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah, you're good.
Well, and I have seen a few little baby grasshoppers.
Yep, they're starting up. Yep.
Yeah, and is Bug Blaster one of the better ones to use on the little grasshoppers?
The Bug Blaster does a great job. The new formulation of 7's really good. Usually I'll go with either like the permethrin formulation from like Indoor Outdoor from High Yield or the Bug Blaster from High Yield. Those are both excellent to use for the grasshoppers, and the Indoor Outdoor is safe to use on fruits and vegetables as well too. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's good to know.
Yep.
And that's High Yield also?
Yep, the High Yield Indoor Outdoor. Yeah, really great product.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you. My raspberries, I'm getting some leaves curling up and going brown.
Okay.
What is causing that? I keep them plenty watered, so I know it's not a water issue.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of iron deficiency already, which is pretty early for that to happen. If your leaves are a little bit iron deficient, they're more susceptible to wind and sunburn. And it has been really windy, and the sun's come out all of a sudden. It's been really hot. So if they're curling and going crispy along the edges, that's a good possibility. Otherwise, we're probably kind of going to start seeing cane borer damage showing up here in a little bit.
Cane borer damage, you can recognize that when the
tips will kind of curl over, and they'll turn and they'll turn a darker green, like a really dark green, but they'll go dry. And so so we should be seeing a little bit of damage showing up the end of this month, first part of July. So that's usually when the cane borers go. I would suspect you got a little bit of iron deficiency and a little bit of crisping with that.
Okay, so maybe give them some iron.
Kind of watch for that. And then if it doesn't look like iron, bring me a sample in so I can take a look at it.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Okay, I can do that.
Great.
All right. Well, thank you, Mark.
Yep. Thanks, Tammy.
Happy Father's Day.
Oh, thank you so much. Have a great weekend.
You too.
All right.
Thanks. Bye.
All right, Mitchell, you still there?
Yeah.
All right. Very good. Very good. Didn't want to lose you. We got a lot of people calling in, so.
Yeah, no, I'm still here.
When I was young, one of the things that I remember most is working out in the garden with my dad and planting potatoes. That was something that we did a lot, and I know that's something that you did with him as well too. So that's kind of carrying on family tradition.
Yeah, no, I think the potatoes were always the easiest thing to do. I mean, what all you do is dig a hole, make sure there was, the fertilizer or bone meal or whatever was in there.
Down in the bottom.
The potato in and cover it up.
Cover it up. Yeah, cover it up. Evie was mentioning earlier, we were talking about some friends that came over to help plant. How old were you when that happened?
I think I was maybe 11 or 12, but we had neighborhood friends come over, and she was helping us plant our potatoes. And every single time she'd put a potato down, something wasn't right. She was picking off all the eyes and the sprouts off the potatoes on every single one she put in because she didn't think they were supposed to be there.
Oh, no. And so we always try and cut our potatoes in advance, so we cut them the day before, let them heal over. And if they've got sprouts on them, we like the sprouts on the potatoes. Yeah. And it's like we had sprouts on our potatoes this spring, and when we planted,
they were really big
some good sized sprouts. But they came up in what, like a week? They were up.
Yep, they were up real quick.
They were up so fast, and they look great. So don't pick the sprouts.
That's the best part.
We don't want Grandpa to yell at you. So I don't know. So if we get that baby here, then we'll have to take him out and plant potatoes too. Not too many potatoes being planted in your neighborhood in Arizona.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so at all. I think the most that I see down here is just lots of fields of cotton. Lots of cotton.
Yeah. And that was really cool. We got to see the cotton fields kind of in bloom down there. I thought that was really, really cool.
That's before they got rid of them and started putting foundations for new houses.
For houses, yeah. Lots of growth going on down there as well, too. So, all right, we got another caller, Dallin?
Yeah, we do.
Right.
Todd is joining us on the line from Logan. Todd, welcome to the Garden Guide.
Well, thanks, you guys. I appreciate it.
Good morning, Todd.
Hey, good morning, my friend. First of all, love and kisses and prayers from us to you guys.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And whenever I think of your mom, I think of pink roses.
Ah, yeah, she loved the roses. So.
Yeah, and I do remember she was a very supportive mom, like all moms are. And she'd always support you at baseball games or whatever.
They were there every single game that we played in. They were there. So
yeah, and that's always supportive to have loving parents like that.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
yeah, we were able to pick
remember those.
Go ahead. Yeah, I was going to say we were able to pick some roses for her this week out of her garden. So my wife went and picked some roses and added some daisies to it as well too. Took her some flowers and then we had a really good friend that brought her some just absolutely gorgeous peonies. I mean, they were white peonies, just a bouquet of white peonies. They were so pretty. So.
Yeah, so that's what I remember about your mom.
Thanks, Todd. I really appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome. And I do have a gardening thing like I always do. I was out early this morning, and I found a little friend, and it's not a cat or a dog or anything like that. I was weeding, as a matter of fact, and I saw a little hair-like thing in my garden, and I went to pick it up, and it moved.
Was it like
do you know what those things are?
What kind of a woolly caterpillar?
No, it wasn't a caterpillar. It was like a piece of hair. A little slivery thing.
Oh, it was like really thin.
Yeah.
Interesting. Probably like a millipede or a centipede.
No, it wasn't a millipede. It was like a piece of hair. I thought it was a pair. I think it looked like a piece of my wife's hair in my garden.
I am not sure.
And It's not a woolly worm. It's not. It's not a caterpillar. It's not a millipede, but it was something that was very squirmy.
Yeah.
And I wanted to pick it up, and it went away.
There are worms out there that are called horsehair worms that are kind of long.
Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah, and I think Ronette just sent me a message. She said there's a lot of people talking about them online as well too. So I have not I've not seen them personally, but it sounds like it's a horsehair worm. So.
Yeah, it was interesting because I just went to pick things up, and it looked like a cobra looking at me.
Yeah, interesting.
Anyway, I never. That's the first time I'd seen
very,
it.
Very
in
interesting.
My garden.
Yeah, I will do. I'll do a little research on it and see if they're beneficial or if they're problematic. So we'll see. But
that would be great.
It's called
that would be awesome.
Called a horsehair worm, and we'll figure out how to get that under control. So.
Okay. Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Thanks for calling in.
For the call, Todd.
Yeah. Have a great weekend, Todd.
You too, you guys. Sure love you.
Yep. Thanks, Todd. Hey, and Todd.
Bye-bye.
Yep. Todd was talking.
Oh, yeah.
Todd was talking about having a helper out in the garden with him, horsehair worm, and it does look like hair, doesn't it?
Yeah,
it's disgusting.
And see, and one of the things that we have around our property, because we have a farm on the far side of it, is we'll get a lot of gardener snakes around this time of year.
Yeah.
And my kids love them. I hate them. And when they weren't looking and they were young, they'd get hit with the weed whacker every chance I could get. But as they've gotten older, they try to keep those snakes around.
Yeah, our cats catch them and bring them in the house.
Oh, that's even worse.
So speaking of cats, we have a hairy helper at our house as well too. Every time, without fail, every time we're out in the garden, our cat comes to help.
Always.
Nami is my faithful garden companion when my kids aren't out there.
Whether you want the help or not.
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
most of the time it's just her digging in the dirt and rolling around in it.
Yeah. But she's so pretty. So she's pretty. But she's always out there helping. Whether we're doing videos in the garden, whether we're planting, whether we're weeding, it doesn't matter. She's out there. So I was out fertilizing the other night, and she was out there helping. So. With her own fertilizer.
Which is actually pretty good. Don't get me wrong, that's the best place for it, I guess.
With her own fertilizer, yeah. All right, so another call.
Neil is joining us on the line from North Logan. Welcome to the show, Neil.
You there, Neil? Oh, did we lose him? Oh, maybe we lost him. That's all right.
We lost Neil for a moment.
That's all right. So.
Hello?
Oh, there we go. You there?
Oh, yeah. Your line went dead for a minute.
There we go.
Thanks for taking my call.
You're so welcome, Neil.
First of all, condolences on losing your mom.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Neil.
Didn't ever know her, but you just know how moms are.
Exactly. And she spent a lot of time at Anderson's and really was there and helped a lot of people over the years. And so she's got lots and lots of friends that have been sending us great messages. So I appreciate that, Neil. Thank you.
Have a quick question for you. We have a yellow delicious apple tree. In the last 3 years, it's bore really heavy. I mean, like really heavy. And this year, we probably will not get one apple off of it. I didn't notice that it had any blossoms on, when we had the frost.
Sure.
But the question I have is it in the natural progression, is it normal for these trees to have like an off year every so often?
If they produce really heavy one year, they will go light the next, and they can get kind of pushed into a every other year production cycle. But if you prune properly and you fertilize consistently and you thin your fruit so you don't have too much fruit on there all at once, we can push it back into a every year cycle where we'll be producing every year. So next year, since it didn't produce this year, it's going to have a lot of extra strength. So it's going to put a lot of growth out. So make sure and prune well next year, and then if it does produce a lot of fruit, make sure and thin it out. Get it thinned out as best as possible, and we can keep it from going into an every other year cycle.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Thank you very much.
You're so welcome. Good luck with your tree, Neil.
Thanks. Have a good day.
Yep, and have a happy Father's Day too.
You too.
Yep. And to Todd and to Wes and to Reed, Happy Father's Day also. Forgot to mention that when you called in. So it's all good.
Great weekend. And one of the things I remember Mom and Dad used to always make us kids do is go out and weed. That was the Saturday morning chore. Go out and weed. And sometimes we weren't always in the cheeriest of spirits.
The weeding mode.
But it taught us a lesson of how to be able to thin those weeds out of there, and because now I find myself doing the same thing, and I'm not killing the bean little plants as they're coming up, and not killing the tomato plants, and not killing the zucchinis and squash, and so. As much as I hated it back then, it taught me a lesson.
A lesson, yeah, and that's something that we never really pushed our kids to do. Like Saturdays would roll around and you guys would go, I'm going to go play at whoever's house or whatever, and we didn't say, oh no, sorry, you have to work in the garden for an hour and a half first before you can go play. Did we? No, we weren't. Mean parents. We tried to make it fun in the garden so you'd have a good time, and then as you grew older, you would enjoy working out in the garden because it is really good for you. And with the pandemic hitting a couple years ago, I think a lot of people realized that it is fun to be out in the garden. It is enjoyable, and it's a great place to be. And yeah, you have to work sometimes, but there's a lot of things you can do to make it so it's not as much work. So it's like I'm working my dad's garden, and Emma's been a great help this spring, and it's 8,000. I think it's probably close to 8,000 square feet. Dad's garden.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah, and the way we set the rows up where they're extra wide, and we run soaker hoses down there. I mean, I can go to water the garden once they get established. We're hand watering some things right now, but once the garden's established and we've got soaker hoses and drippers going, I can water the whole garden in like 10 minutes of work, and let the hoses do all the work, and so then all I have to do is just like weed a little bit here, run the tillers up and down the rows, and harvest all the good stuff that's coming out of the garden. So
and that's the best part.
Yeah, not too bad. So we're trying some new tomatoes this year, and we're trying a new variety of corn. So I planted Eden. So we're gonna try a white variety of super sweet corn. So it's like the Nirvana, but it's all white corn. So we're gonna try that. So anything, Mitchell, you would like us to grow since you're gonna come visit later this summer?
Oh man, I would kill for some fresh tomatoes. So I mean, that sounds good to me.
All right.
I can't remember the last time I had a tomato off the vine.
Out of the garden. Probably last Labor Day when you came to visit. We brought all that stuff down. So when we met up in Park City. So okay, I'll make sure the tomatoes are rocking for you when you guys come to visit. So we'll be set. So.
And were there any vegetables that you didn't like eating when you were growing up, but you do like it now? Because that's one of the things. I hated squash. I hated it. When Mom was making squash, it was, I mean, there wasn't anything worse. And yet now I love squash.
That's like so good.
Yeah.
Emma?
I don't like squash cooked, but I like eating it raw. So it's a little crunchy, but it's like, it still has a really sweet flavor. And sometimes it loses the sweet flavor when it's steamed.
Cook it.
So I like just eating it raw, and it's like a good snack. So.
Yeah, and we steam it because it's like faster to cook than baking it because it takes forever. I know, Evie, anything?
I'm trying to remember growing up, I did not like the colorful chard, but it has gotten better. It's still not my favorite.
the color, like the rainbow chard.
The rainbow chard, yeah.
See, and the chard's a little bitter to me.
Yeah,
so
I can't. It's not my favorite. I can go with a good rhubarb pie. I feel like they go along with each other, but can't do the chard.
I think rhubarb is still my number one hated. Like, I can't do it cooked or raw. I just... Never.
Just too much.
If it's prepared right, that strawberry rhubarb pie.
Oh,
we'll have to get Julia on the strawberry rhubarb pie. So
we've got a minute left, and so let's just remind everyone a few specials going on today for Father's Day.
Yeah, for Father's Day. So geraniums are still on sale. We've got some wave petunias on sale. We just got some awesome new shrubs in, some gorgeous little topiary trees that would make a great gift. Roses look amazing, and we've just got a great selection of plants outside, but we also have wind chimes. We've got some amazing tools. We've got garden gloves, some really good ideas for those fathers out there that love to work out in their garden. This year you might want to buy them fertilizer.
Yeah.
Because it's like fertilizer's expensive.
Investing in the future, yeah.
Fertilizer as well, too. You could get his cherry trees sprayed.
Mm-hmm.
It's like cherry trees, they're getting close. I saw some yesterday that the cherries were coloring up already. Yeah, so
really?
starting to color up. So, okay, so this week, no class on Wednesday for the Wednesday market. We're going to have to push that back till next Wednesday. So no Wednesday class this week because I will be otherwise occupied on Wednesday afternoon. But and we'll have another class coming up. So Wednesday market, come down, see us at Anderson's. This weekend, we've got some great deals going on for Father's Day, and the plants look amazing. And thanks to everyone who called in with questions or comments. We appreciate you participating in the show. And kids, thanks so much for being on the show. It's like made it a great Father's Day special for me.
Yeah, wasn't a problem.
Thank you so much.
I was just waking up.
Getting up early on Saturday mornings. Welcome to my world.
Information and news you need. News Talk KVNU Logan, 610 AM and 102.1 FM.